Welcome to the Voices of the GESDA Summit, and welcome today to Dr. Kobi Leins. You are an honorary research fellow at the Center for Science and Security Studies in the Department of War Studies at King's College in London. So you participated in a panel this morning on the limits of digitalization in conflicts. What is that exactly? Can you tell us a little bit more?
That's an excellent question. Basically, Anya Kaspersen, who chaired it expertly, broke it into two different categories. So is it the securitization of data and of assets, or is it more about thinking about ways that we can attack using any type of cyber? So using those two different threads, we sort of dived into a whole lot of different aspects of connectivity between different types of warfare and cyber for beginners. We also talked about the connectivity between all of the different disciplines, that cyber is not just one thing, and it's connected to infrastructure, it's connected to the commercial world, that it has implications for the commercial world. We're no longer talking about conflict in a simple participatory way. We're talking about multiple actors in a complex environment.
It's no longer the soldier with a gun, it's lots of other things.
Well, it hasn't been that for a long time, but what's really interesting about cyber is so much of our world post-COVID has gone online, and wherever anything is online, there are vulnerabilities and opportunities to intervene or to hack or to change. And so thinking about that more creatively and thinking about those who have the power to do that now becoming involved in wars it's really interesting.
So how is this new technology, how is this new world or new way of doing war changing actually the way we are waging war?
We're seeing it right now. We're seeing propaganda, which is not a new thing, being taken online and people being influenced. But more importantly, we're also seeing people change how they engage with the world. They're increasingly talking to themselves, if you like. So it's not just the risk of people being forced into positions of extremism online. It's also people being forced into bubbles of normality that they think represent the world. We're no longer challenged conceptually in the way that we used to be. And this came up a number of times, this idea of cognitive control, that we don't have the data literacy globally to actually be able to interrogate the systems or the understanding of the data that's been collected about us that could be used against us.
So what can governments and societies and non-state actors do to address these challenges?
There was a rally in the meeting of a call for hope and a promise that we wouldn't leave people feeling unable to sleep after the session. The hopefulness, I think, comes from the ability to intervene as rapidly as the technologies are changing. So we talked about having education systems, not just in schools, but also for society at large, so that people actually have a better understanding of what's being collected about them and could potentially be used against them.
About the consequences, basically.
Absolutely. So even commercial data that you use, the things that you are sharing via multiple apps, can potentially be used together. We talked about, another point was that humanitarian data should never be hacked. It should be sacred. It should be like any other kind of humanitarian facility, and if not even more sacred, because once it's out, you can't retrieve it, you can't fix it. We talked about as well the idea that we need to be having more of the actors in the room, that we have a lot of commercial actors are now actively participating in war without acknowledging or realising that they could potentially be a kinetic target legitimately under international law. So we need to upskill a lot of the tech companies and people working in that field as well.
Thank you very much, Dr. Leins, for talking to us today. Thank you.
Thank you.